Welcome back to the Feria TechCast. Today I'm joined by someone I've known personally, an engineering graduate, a hands-on tech gadget repairer, and someone who's built skills that go way beyond the classroom. So, Jonathan, welcome to the show. So, before we dive
Um,
in, could you tell us your full name and what you studied?
okay, my full name is Jonathan Irabor. My surname is Irabor. So my first name is Jonathan, and I studied chemical engineering, University of Benin.
Okay. So, firstly, what made you choose engineering as a course, and specifically, why did you go for chemical engineering?
Okay. As a person, personally, I've always been
Yeah.
someone who is more curious about things than people. I ask a lot of questions about things. So from the get-go, I knew my destiny would land me in engineering. I didn't have any option because of the kind of person I am. I would always find myself in engineering. Now, after chemical engineering, well, I would say it's what I initially had in mind. Initially, I wanted to go for biomedical engineering, but the program is not really available in Nigeria the time I did my jump. And the closest alternative I could find to it was chemical engineering. So yeah, I went for chemical engineering. So that's just the short
Okay, that's
story.
good.
Although the program is now
So,
available in some universities now, but back then it wasn't available.
yeah, that's nice. So, during the course of your studying in the university, were there any concepts you found very, very, very challenging to understand, to grasp at first? Like, I mean, there are lots of that in engineering. So, I mean, for chemical engineering, were there such concepts for you?
Yeah. Well, sometimes even the course code was challenging sometimes. I ain't gonna laugh. Even the name of the course.
You're funny.
But then, specifically to chemical engineering, there's a particular group of courses they call chemical reaction engineering. Those courses, the concept
Mm,
under those courses are a lot challenging. Like your foundation needs to be extremely sound because the thing keeps building on each other. You're going to do it in 200 level, you do it in year three, you do it in year four, you do it in year five. So like once you miss the foundation like this, you're screwed. Those courses you cannot cram
yeah,
them. Like, you know those
yeah.
kind of courses. You cannot cram them. You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
You can't. Even if they give it to us to answer that example, you can't really answer any question because you need to understand the concept. Yeah, I'd say it's chemical reaction
Yeah,
engineering.
I can relate to that a whole lot. I can relate to that because for me, in mechanical engineering, of course, you do thermodynamics too. I do
Yeah,
thermodynamics too, but as we went on, the thermodynamics kind of deviated. So what we did was not exactly the same. So for me, thermodynamics in my third year, okay, I think we started thermodynamics in the third year. Yeah, we did. So in the third year, it was. mm, quite interesting at first, but then as we advanced in the fourth year, fifth year, it's escalated very fast, like very, very quickly. And if you did not have solid foundation from the third year, you would suffer a whole lot when you get to the fifth year of
bro.
thermodynamics. So I understand what you're saying, man. I do understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So yeah. So aside your academics, were there any other things you were juggling alongside?
Yeah, of course, yes now. Yeah, there are other things.
Yeah, of course, I do know, but I just want you to say it out so maybe the audience can hear from you themselves. You understand?
Yeah, there were other things I was juggling. And engineering. Yeah. So as you mentioned earlier, I do fix phones. So that was one of them. I also teach. I do home lessons, and I also learn one or two tech skills you get. So like they were just other most of the
Mm.
other things I was juggling around were just for survival. Most of them for survival. You get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. So, you said you fix phones. Is it just
Yeah.
phones you fix, or the other gadgets you fix too?
Yeah. I basically fix anything that has electricity running through it. So
Come on, man. You should actually generalize it because you actually limiting it to just phones like made me to wonder.
yeah,
I've seen you
yeah,
fix some other
yeah,
things.
yeah. I fix anything that has electricity running. I fix calculators, laptops,
That's impressive.
AirPods, just name it. Laptops.
Jack of all trades, yeah.
No. So like, I,
All right. I get it, man. I
yeah.
understand.
So
So, how did you learn how to repair gadget? Okay, you started with
yeah, I
phones,
started
right?
with phones.
How did you
Yes.
learn how to repair it? Is it through apprenticeship, online tutorials, or just trials and errors? How did you get those skills?
So like, it's a mix of all the three things you just mentioned now. So the story goes like this.
Okay.
2019, 2020, we went on break for COVID, right? So like I was expecting
Yeah.
the break to be like a month or two because 100 level now, we are the hot kids in town, we cannot just stay at home like this. So like then the third month, my sister was like, this man, you cannot just sit at home and then be eating food and be waking up and sleeping, giving the excuse that you just got admission to school. You get like, she took me to Ring Road in Ibadan. Yeah. I know there's a ring road here in Guinea. It's typically the same thing they do at
Yeah.
those ring roads. They fix things there. So she took me
Oh,
there.
yeah.
She took me there. Then she took me to a man there. The man. So initially I was reluctant about the whole thing because I was like, I just got admission into school. I see the people I'm staying, I'm learning things with. These are people that they did not even finish secondary school. Like I was like, I should not be here. This is not my place. I should be in an engineering class right now. So but then after like the first month, after the first month, I started getting very curious about the phones because if you have seen how complicated a phone like panel is, you'd be surprised how simple they actually are. Like the most important things there.
Hmm.
So that complexity
That's
and then
great.
the simplicity in the complexity made me curious. So I started getting interested in the thing and I started learning. Then at some point I felt, oh, this my Oga his knowledge about this thing is really capped. Then I started branching to other
You mean
means of
your
learning.
boss
Yeah,
knowledge
my boss.
about tech
Yeah,
repairs?
yeah,
Okay.
because there were times when they would bring things for us, like we'd be like, it's not going to do this thing. Let me go and give this thing to another person outside. I was like, ah. So
Hmm.
then I started branching out to other means of learning. Then I started going to visit. Like there are some special, like if you go to Ringo now, there's some special forts that will do your phone. There's a particular place they will take you. They will say, okay, this is where they do this. This is where they do this. So I started visiting all those people, small,
Yeah.
learning, getting one or two knowledge from their ends, just learn one or two. Then I started checking online too. Like there were all these boot camp, all these Indian people we used to do online. All those people,
Yeah. Indians.
all those people,
They are very vast.
they have a solution for every problem in this life.
Every problem, the one you've not thought about, they've solved it.
Sometimes they will create the problem just so they can solve it so that you see that
Exactly.
people are crazy. So then
Indians,
checking
they
the
are very intelligent.
once I started viewing the online thing, like I just stopped going to my boss's place. Like the thing was just so convenient for me. I
Hmm.
started I started testing things out on my own. You get then Little by little, I
Yeah,
started branching out from phones to other things, other gadgets, because they are literally similar. So just branching out like that, applying the skills from one,
yeah,
transferring it to the other. So that's just it.
yeah, yeah. So during the course of your learning, was your passion for engineering? I would not really say your engineering knowledge as of then because you're only a year one student who just got introduced to basic physics and mathematics and differential equations. So, was your passion for engineering, did it have anything to do with how much you were able to learn and, I mean, the zeal, the drive to learn more about tech repairs?
Um, Honestly, I don't know if there's a straightforward answer to it because I'll not lie. I was really disappointed in engineering. After my second year, I was disappointed. At some point, I felt this thing is not for me. Because, yeah, bro, like this degree literally almost took my life. For what? Like at some point, I was really discouraged. I will not lie. Like I was unmotivated at some point. Engineering just became like a chore for me, a chore that I just had to do at some point.
Mm,
So it wasn't. I don't think it really influenced my wanting to learn because the thing is again like I'm a very curious person. Once I see something that really catches my attention, it's very difficult for me to let go of that thing. So from the onset that the like gadgets, getting interested in gadgets had already caught my attention. Like it was very difficult for me to let go of that thing. So engineering had zero influence, particularly chemical engineering, had zero influence on my zeal or anything. All it did was 80% of the time it gave me extreme headache and collected a lot of my money.
all right. So you talked about engineering being very, 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 very stressful to you at some point in time, and you almost gave it up. So I'd like to know why exactly. Was it the academic burden? Like, was it too hard, or what was actually causing the whole stress and frustrations?
Well, it's like due to a couple of factors, yeah. But like, let me start with this. I was just disappointed. That was the first thing that happened. I was disappointed. Like what I was expecting while I entered the faculty was not what I meant. Like there was so many unnecessary things attached to what I was doing that I really didn't like. So like I was disappointed at that first. The things I was hoping to learn, I didn't learn them. Like I was like the whole thing was first of all very disappointing to me. So that was one. And then
So,
number two, the courses that I was introduced to, I have to go and learn these things from the scratch by most of them by myself. They were not really like proper introduction to some of the concepts or anything. You know when you have to go and start after you have paid school fees and everything, you have to go and scatter YouTube to go and learn one thing. Go through YouTube, just
mm,
go up and down just so you can. It now became like exhausting at some point, sha. So like those two factors were just the things that really got me unmotivated. Like every semester, I know I'm going to have to repeat this again and again for almost every course.
so I want to understand clearly. So would you point this as a fault on the academic standards that you had to pass through? Or, I mean, what exactly was the root of it?
Of, of course, it's the standard of teaching. It's like the kind of environment, the kind of structure that has been put in place to learn. It's not really encouraging. Like it's it takes like extra kind of motivation to actually see somebody that will say, "Oh, I love doing this thing that they call engineering," because it's most of the time it's just headache, yeah, it's just headache.
I get it. We would only hope for the best. I do understand that. the standard of learning, engineering specifically right now, in Nigeria is really, really poor. And
Yeah,
yeah, we also hope
for
it gets better over time. You we hope for the best. We hope for the best. So, I like to ask, what's the most complicated device you've ever had to repair? I mean, the one that challenged you the most. And
okay,
of course, how did you solve this challenge?
okay. The most complicated or the most challenging because those two things
Okay,
are
put put them as two questions. What's the most complicated device you've ever faced, and what's the most challenging? And what were the complications, and what were the challenges?
okay. I think the most complicated, like I would think maybe a little bit sophisticated device I've had to fix was a mouse. A wireless mouse.
Mm,
Yeah. Like
at first impression, I think a mouse is a really simple device.
it is, but like the thing is, working without mouse was the first time I was introduced to like I know what sensors are you get, but that was the first time I actually had to work with a faulty sensor. So like I had to do a lot of
Okay,
troubleshooting to know where this problem is coming from before I now figured out it's the sensor. Before I even know what the sensor looked like on the motherboard, before having to change it,
yeah.
like it was the first time I was working with the sensor. So that was a new thing for me. And the most challenging thing was one guy's phone that I fixed in one rubbish Infinix phone. Very challenging thing. Ah, I spent weeks on this phone. Spent weeks because the thing is the phone had an issue. Now I changed
Yeah.
the screen for this phone. The screen that was there before was bad, so I changed the screen. Now this phone, anytime you plug it in, it goes off. Like anytime you put a charger to it, it goes off. I was so confused. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Like the thing just goes blank. Ah, I had to remove every single component. I removed the camera, bro. I removed this. I removed everything. Just scattered the phone. All those phones,
I get.
all those phones are demonic. So like I said, that was the most challenging thing. It's the most complex one would be that wireless mouse because of the sensor. Yeah.
So for that Infinix phone you were talking about, how did you end up solving the problem, or was it even solved at all?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did it end?
The thing I later solved it because the thing is, once you give me something to fix, you've given me money in the first place. Unless I know you have already collected money from me, and half of the time I've already spent that money. That money has gone on something, so I'm forced to find a solution. Like I'm forced to find a solution to the thing. So what I did was, like I said, I removed every single component from the phone. Then I started putting
Yeah,
it back. I started putting it back one by one while plugging it in to see which of the components was actually causing the problem.
yeah,
So I did that. I think later on I figured out it was one IC, it was one IC on the downboard that was causing the problem. So anytime I plug in the thing, that particular IC will be very hot and it will be extremely hot. So I knew that IC was faulty. So I changed that full downboard, that panel. So I changed the full panel. So after I changed it, the thing worked normally for a while. For a while before the guy brought it again with another issue. But that other issue was just simple. It was just to change the power flip. But then the way I solved that was like I used my experience. Okay, if this thing is happening, like something was like there's a particular component in this phone that is causing this problem. So I stripped all the components and then I started reattaching them back to figure out what the problem was. And that was how I solved that.
that's a very interesting way to diagnose a problem. So, one question: if you had to start all over. Let's say you have to go back to 2019, then you have the constraints to choose between one of these, either study just engineering or go into gadget repairs, and you can't do both. Which would you go for?
Hmm. Honestly, I've never asked myself that question. But but I know the answer. Like the back of my hand, like the back of my hand, I know the answer. I would honestly, I would choose to just stick with the gadget repair. I would choose to stick with the gadget
Hmm.
repair, not engineering. Honestly, and by now I've really gone
Okay.
far. I've really gone far. Mm. I think I'll have
Yeah,
stuck with the gadget repair.
that's great. So why not engineering, if I may ask?
Ah, my time here, it wasn't nice at all. It was not nice. I will not lie.
Wouldn't you
You
wouldn't
see?
you by that like consider it the fault of your institution or your
Yeah.
faculty?
Oh,
I
oh,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
I'm talking about engineering in general. I'm
yeah,
not talking
yeah. Oh,
about engineering at your university.
okay, yeah, yeah. Like, I obviously, like, even till now, I still have it in one of my plans. Like, I would love to further my education, you get, but not in Nigeria. It's just the way things are. But then,
Yeah, I understand.
but then the thing is, if you have ever seen like a place where you see people learning something practically, like for example, that phone repair now, I think everybody sees that one very clearly. You see the kind of structure they have in place for learning those things. Like you don't, there's no two ways about it. You are going to learn. Like you are going to learn whether you like it or not. And
Yeah.
it's not learning that, oh, everybody must learn at the same time. You learn at your own pace. Like the things you can do, you do it, you master it very well to the point that like you're not scared, you don't have any problem with it, you're not bothered by the thing again. Like they give you the time for you to learn what you need to learn. It's not the same. All of us have
Mm.
3 weeks, whatever time they were giving us per semester that time. We had like a month or so to prepare for like
Yeah.
12 courses. All of us,
Yeah.
including the one with mental problems, including the one with financial problems, including the one with physical problems. All of us had the same time to prepare for the same exam.
That's university for you. All right. So, in like in a single word response, engineering or tech repairs,
Tech repairs. Tech repairs.
even in the global scale.
Oh, engineering. Oh, yes. I don't know. This particular engineering I just went through is giving me trauma.
All right.
Yeah. Engineering, yeah. Engineering.
Okay, that's great. That's great to hear. So, what would you like to say to students who only focus on grades? People do a lot for grades. People do a whole
Yeah.
lot for grades.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, both good and bad stuffs. People do a lot for grades.
Just for
And
the
what
yeah.
I've seen, from what you've seen, no need to go into too much details, but what will you say to such students?
Well, I would hope you have a very sound reason for the reason why they are looking for the grades. Like, it's not just to look for the grades because you don't want to fail, because you don't want to get F. That's not good enough reason. Sometimes it's better to know what you are doing and fail than don't know what you are doing and pass. So,
That's interesting.
and
that that's
sometimes I
that's
just like I hope you have a very good reason for looking for because I can't really criticize people that go to the extreme to get the A's and the B's and the C's. I won't blame them because the thing is
mm,
the system itself is not really it's not going to pity you when it wants to give you the F. It's not going to it's not going to pity you. It's not going to consider the fact that oh the classes were very few, the classes were shitty, nothing like that. It just gives you the F just
yeah.
like that. So I won't criticize them, but I'll just say hope you have a very sound reason for what you are doing because if you're going to the extreme for something, there must be a reason why you are doing it. Like, is the reason good enough to you? Does it make sense to you? If it does, then with your life, it's not really worth staying back and suffering the same suffering for. But if you are going to the extreme, I hope you have very good reasons for it. When I'm saying to the extreme now, I'm saying it in the bad way now. In the bad way.
Yeah,
Like all those people that used to, you know
yeah.
what I'm talking about now, in the bad way.
Don't go
Yeah.
into too much details.
Yeah, I'm not going
Alright.
into too much. But if you're doing it the right way, there's nothing wrong with it. Like you can go for as many night classes as you want, apart from the fact that you're getting your grades, you're also building some things about yourself, doing all those things. So go for it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's great. So this one's personally for you. Uh, what's something you've learned so far since you graduated? I mean, about life after this whole degree thing. I mean, what has life taught you so far?
Summarize. Summarize.
Summarize. Yeah. I mean, if you want to say this, we could talk for the next 3 hours and lessons still will not be exhausted.
Since I graduated, one particular thing that has been very clear is life is merciless. It is like you can be having a bad day and you still lose your phone.
Okay. I mean, lessons as relates to the conversation we just had. I mean, engineering and tech repairs. I mean, you understand?
Yeah, I get.
Life lessons are too many. Life lessons are
Let,
too many.
let me just be serious. Well, one thing I've learned is the importance of keeping relationship with people. It has really helped me. Like
Hmm.
back then in school, like I fixed things for a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
And during the process, we have to talk. Some of them we have to fight to get, but then still we still
Yeah.
had we still had some kind of relationship we get. So like now that you are done, like everybody's done, you know, people have so many ideas about things that you would never think of. Like somebody could just text you like, "Oh, Joe, like, how about this?" Like, that's a very. I would never think about that kind of thing on a normal day. But then you guys get to share ideas, get to share, brainstorm ideas together. Give each other tips on how to go about things, advise each other. Those relationships are very very important. So like I would say, yeah, that's one thing that's really that's really occurred to me a lot after after I finished in school. Yeah.
That's great lesson. Great one. Great one. I hope maybe the undergraduates that will listen to this would hit to it. So last question, Jonathan. I like to ask, what does innovation mean to you? I mean, as regards your field, what you do, what you studied. I mean, what do you think innovation would look like?
Hmm. Well, chemical engineering is a very wide field. So like it's very broad.
Yeah, with lots of research going on.
Yeah, lots of research. So like on every front, energy, materials. So like to me, I think innovation it doesn't really have to do with like creating something completely new from the scratch. You get it can just be improving on an already established concept, but just improving on it in a very unique way. So yeah, like I would say to me, that's definition of like innovation is really speaks to me, like improving on an already established concept, but then improving on it in a very unique way.
Yeah, that's great. So, lastly, how can people find you after this interview? I mean, do you have socials that you are particularly active on or ways to contact you? Yeah.
Well, I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, my
You're on
Twitter.
Twitter. So what's your
Yeah,
X handle?
my X handle is at Joe Trader. Yeah, Joe Trader,
That's
like
Joe
JOE,
Joe.
and Trader TRADDA.
All right. That's
So,
great. That's
so
wonderful.
yeah,
So
my too.
it's nice having you today. It's
Yeah,
nice having you. Yeah, that will be all for today. So for the audience, if you like to listen to more podcasts like this, kindly follow, subscribe, or do whatever it takes to be updated or
you guys
get
follow, yeah,
notified
follow,
when
subscribe.
subsequent episodes are released. So thank you, and that will be all for now.